Hi, I'm Blake.
And I'm Jamie.
And we're Blamey.
Guess so.
This is another one of our mid-book reviews. So we interestingly do reviews in the middle of books with how we're liking them, not necessarily at the end. We occasionally do them at the end, but you'll most often give them in the middle because we want to, share what the experience is like at the middle of the book because you spend a lot of time there. So we have two new ones for you, and we'll jump right in. You want to start?
Yeah, I'm actually like 3/4 of the way through this one. Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. I've been meaning to read this for a couple of years before it was hyped up everywhere. He's read it, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna love it. You should read it." So I guess that was the last straw, and I picked it up, and I'm really liking it a lot.
There's no way I was the last straw. I'm sure somebody else told you it was great, and that was the last straw.
You have power to be a last straw occasionally.
No, it doesn't happen. It never happens.
No, it just really came up on my list. It was time to read it.
So somehow the TBR has more sway than I do.
It was like a good tie. It happened all at the same time, so it was perfect. Anyway, this is, I'll just read it. It just says, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. I imagine a lot of people have read this, or at least some of Lee Bardugo's work, or have heard of it at least, but just 6 people, getting kind of random people from all different walks of life, different countries and different countries. Would you say countries?
Yeah,
different
kingdoms, probably.
Yeah, powers. Anyway, they are all in on a heist to get a lot of money. So it's really good. I am liking the characters. I like that it's looking like Kaz, the main character, is a little more like there's a little more to him than just the big cool guy who can do everything. Like there's a little more depth to him that I'm seeing, and that's been surprising and good. I think my favorite character at this point is Nina, not the healer, but that person. Oh man, I should remember what that word is. Yeah, and
Don't have anything else to say?
I think I'm gonna love it. Like it has potential right now to be a 5 stars, unless the ending just goes wacky. But I think it's probably gonna be a 5 star, if not 4.5.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, okay. So the one I'm in the middle of is not this book. This is Malice by John Gwynne. I'm in the second book of this, which is Valor. I'm listening to it though, so I don't have a hard copy with mine right now. I will probably end up getting a hard copy based off of how it's going. And really, it's just more of the same, which is really, really good. It's epic fantasy, really interesting, kind of lots of internal politics, and you get kind of a larger story that is kind of a slow burn of a larger story. It's also one of those interesting books that has kind of a chosen one trope going on, but I'm gonna call it a fake chosen one trope. Like, people think it's the chosen one, but the reader's kind of in on the thing that he's not actually the chosen one. Anyways, great book. Really liking Valor, and really excited to finish the rest of the series. Right now, it fits really well with books that I love, so it is probably unsurprising, but I would probably give it a 4-star book quality right now. It's a middle book, so I'm not expecting anything amazing at the finish here. I'm expecting more of the same as it leads into the final book of this trilogy here. So mid-book review, really enjoying Valor, which is the second one after Malice. I like Malice, we just didn't do a mid-book review for it. And I'm enjoying this more than I enjoyed that, interestingly.
You didn't love this one.
I didn't. I don't know. It was not bad. It just feels other people have done the medium better.
I can see that.
Maybe the entire story better in some ways.
The heist is good, and there's been lots of good plot twists to it. The character work that you complain about, I could see that. It's YA. I think that's really your problem. Like, it's meant to be easy. It's meant to just flow and work and not be super complex.
Yeah, give it true.
Yeah.
Right? But, the interesting thing with this, I think in some measure, people would describe these as slow, would maybe be the right word. Like you've had some major conflicts, but they're not, the plot's not cruising along here by any means. And so that's an interesting thing is that it feels like I spend more time in the world because the plot takes a while. And honestly, just a very large book. I mean,
It's huge.
this is 700 something pages. The other one's similar sized. Like Audible told me it was some ridiculous like 50 hours or something to finish. Like it's a large book. There's a long time to develop characters. Where that's probably $400 or 400 pages.
$400.
Yeah, it's $400.
2 books, just 2. Although there's rumor of a third. 460.
Yeah, and just the way the type is set, those type of things. Like it's a much quicker read. You get to spend less time with the characters, and I like spending time with the characters. I think it builds interest for me long term there. The other thing it doesn't do, and one critique that I will have of this compared to this is I feel like the villains weren't particularly strong in Six of Crows. And I don't know why I'm comparing these two, but the villain, I guess who I would describe as the villains, are better in Wrath or Malice here. Not Wrath, excuse me, Malice and Valor. I think Wrath may be the final one. Anyways, there's a little better villains, or antagonists maybe is the right word to describe them, because I don't know if I'd go so far as to say villains yet. And maybe villains are just what make a lot of a book for me is when they're a little more fleshed out. Six of Crows, I feel like the villain in a lot of ways isn't anybody, it's more of this task.
Yeah, there's like a couple of people here and there. And also you get the backstory of all these characters, and each of them kind of have their villain. Not villain, just, the person who ruined their life and made them go to the slums to be bad people. I don't know. It's,
Good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I definitely don't mean to make anybody not read Six of Crows.
Yeah, no, don't listen to him.
But it's a worthwhile read. Just not my favorite. Whereas this is also going to not be my favorite, but it's an excellent bit of fantasy. Just turns out the more you read, the better books get, and you find the things that fit well with your taste. I think it's a lot like food, right? The food that I love may not be the food that other people love, and every once in a while you come across that one thing that you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, you have to try this, and people have it, and it's awesome. And that's, I think, a lot of how reading works, is it works that way.
Daddy, Dad, I want water.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Water for the sleep. Sleeping time.
I'm curious to know whether or not you're going to read the second Six of Crows, because I'm actually a little worried that I'm going to love the ending of this so much that I'm going to just have to read the second one right away, and not all of my Christmas books that I just got.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know.
I'll probably read the second one. I'll probably also read the other 3 in the
There's another
the world, I guess.
a whole other series.
Oh, there's a whole other one on top of
Yeah.
that?
King of Scars.
So yeah, like I'll probably read them. I don't know, they feel the closest thing that I could compare them to. I've heard people talk them up like crazy. And, it's so amazing, it's great. I've heard if you love Harry Potter, you'll love this. And realizing it's very much in that vein, which I love Harry Potter, don't get me wrong. But the closest thing that I could compare it to feels a little bit like Aragon. Right? It is like that style of writing, that level of plot and character development. Like it's not a bad thing. It's just I don't know. There's better. There's better than that.
It feels like Aragon. The cover feels like it.
It physically feels like Aragon.
Yeah, sorry.
It's about the same size, about the same thickness.
It's a little skinnier than
I
Aragon.
don't know. I bet it's the same. We'll have to give a check right here. Galaxy Aragon. And again, Aragon was great. I loved it when I was a teenager. Right? Just there's better stuff out there. I don't know how this turned into a review. Me reviewing Six of Crows. That wasn't the point here.
I have one more thing though.
Okay, fine.
Sorry, because all these other books in the Grishaverse is what she calls it. I do wonder if we had read them in the order she wrote them.
Is this not the order she wrote them?
Mm-mm. Shadow and Bone came first before this one, and I don't know where King of Scars came in.
Oh.
I just wonder if that would change it and how that would change our perspectives.
Maybe. Honestly, the other thing that is this, again, we're on Six of Crows review here.
Sorry.
The other thing with Six of Crows that I just isn't my favorite is I don't necessarily like the modern-ish fantasy. Like there's The one exception for me is the wax and wane alloy of lobster quintuplet. I don't know. What do you call it?
Quintuplet is 5 and
Okay.
it's...
A quadricept. That's not it.
I
Whatever
think
you
it's a
call
quartet.
for it.
I think you're looking for the
A
word
quartet, like a string quartet. I don't think is it really, you call it a quartet of books? Is that what it is?
I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
I've heard
Anyways.
it once, but maybe I don't remember.
Whatever it is, the books, the 4 quadrants of whatever the Wax and Wane trilogy thing is, whatever the Wax and Wane thing is, those have been pretty good. I don't know. I just it has a little like Hunger Games-y feel to me, and I just I'm not a fan of dystopian.
It's
very much at all.
I don't get that feel from here. I feel like this is purely fantasy.
Except for the guns.
Okay, there's like guns.
And shooting people.
Yeah.
And like elevators and technology.
I don't think there's elevators or technology.
There's definitely technology.
There's the magic technology because they can like warp metal.
There's definitely technology.
Like there's not like cell phones or televisions or even light bulbs.
Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows?